Sai Ram. Swami sorted out the worries of each of these people in unique manner. Keith Kritchlow, the architect, right? The day he went to the hospital land and drew his mandala, not one, not two, not three, 5 eagles. 5 eagles in Rayalaseema Puttaparthi. You find kites with difficulty there. Eagles, 5 of them arrived and sat on the mandala like chicken. Just imagine that. He was thrilled beyond doubt and he knew that this is a divine project. Sorted. Next, Mr. A. Ramakrishna, his company was involved in the actual construction of this hospital. And even as they began to lay the bricks, the foundation, Swami began to visit the hospital site from May 1991. And with each visit, he inspired such devotion, such loyalty, such hard working among everybody involved. People work day in and day out. Not out of force, not for extra payment, not for anything, but for love for God and enthused with this missionary zeal, this visionary zeal. And you know what? In front of their eyes, they could see week by week the hospital coming up, literally coming up like that. The pace of construction was unbelievable, something that he had never seen in his life. And it didn't happen via a miracle, a blatant miracle where Swami waved his hand and something came up. It happened through the miracle of the transformation of the heart, charged hearts, inspired hearts, and devoted hearts. Next, we come to the procurement. Shri V. Srinivasan went to Swami with a prayer about the funds requirement and these problems that are associated with the equipment. Swami said, life itself is so unsure. Why are you worried about the machinery? He got the message and he decided to do what will otherwise be considered as something atrocious. He brought the equipment from Chennai to Puttaparthi, from Madras to Puttaparthi without any insurance. It was divinely insured based on what Swami had said. And then the Dutch engineers began to assemble the equipment part by part. Very expensive, very sophisticated equipment. And their jaws dropped down to the ground in awe and wonderment because not a single piece, not a single nut, not a single bolt was missing or defective. Everything had arrived in such perfection despite of no insurance being there, despite no additional care being taken. And they said that this is the first time in our lives that we are having 100% perfection in transport and we don't have need for anything else. They finished everything much earlier than the stipulated time and they too underwent a transformation in their heart. They stopped their good morning and good evening and good night. It was all Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram after that. And yes, coming to Dr. Safaya, he was also amazed at what inspiration can come from divinity. The top doctors in India and the world came and formed this team. There was Dr. Venugopal, a pioneer in India. He is considered as the father of heart transplant in India. He did the first heart transplant in India. He was a pioneer in cardiology and he was part of the team. There was such an excellent team that he knew that there is divinity working. And yet, just a few days before the inauguration, 3 days to be precise, he still saw that the operation theatres were not sterile, nothing seemed to be ready for an operation. He didn't know what to do. Despite the best efforts, despite working for almost 18 hours on a daily basis, things were not yet ready.
The hospital was to be inaugurated on 22nd. And so the 2 days before, I gave up and I fell down on my bed at about 12 o'clock in the night. I said I cannot go any further because the hospital will not be ready to be inaugurated and operations have to be done. The conditions are not sterile. Scientifically, we are not ready. So I have failed my master, I told my wife, and I started weeping in my bed.
His wife then gave him words of wisdom. Swami says, W-I-F-E, wife is wisdom invited forever. That is what she was for Dr. Safaya. She told him, Ray, he has faith in you. What happened to your faith in him? Pray to him, and then go and keep working. And so in the middle of the night, Dr. Safaya also prayed. He prayed intensely to Swami. And then within a few hours, after taking rest, he went back to work at the hospital. And his jaw dropped now, because he doesn't know how, but all the operation theaters had been sterilized. The swabs had been taken. They take this to check the contamination level, the sterilization levels. The swabs had been sent and the reports had come back, which said that it is all fine to go ahead with operations. The hot tears of sorrow that he had shed just a few hours back transformed into cool tears of joy. Every problem one by one got sorted. Before I forget, let me also recollect the experience of Mr. Rajeev Mahajan, another devotee of Swami and a silent worker in the background. He is from Delhi and he was also procuring all the medical supplies needed for the hospital. In fact, the operation theatre lights, he personally brought it with himself via flight, and all the other supplies were coming via trucks from Delhi to Puttaparthi. Now his flight, which was supposed to land in Bangalore, because of weather conditions, had to land in Chennai, Madras. And now he was wondering, oh God, how do I now arrange? I have to do this in a hurry. He just prayed to Swami, and even as they landed in Madras, the announcement was made that the weather and the skies have cleared up in Bangalore. The same aircraft will now take off from Madras and land in Bangalore. And that is how he reached with all the operation lights in time to the hospital. But when he reached there with just 2-3 days to go for the inauguration, he got to know that there was no clue about where these trucks were. He called up the trucking company, and back in those days there was no GPS, there was no mobile phones, nothing. Even the trucking company had no idea where the trucks were. And so he was so dejected. 1 day passed, 2 days passed. Tomorrow is the inauguration and the trucks have not yet arrived. He walked out of the hospital thinking, let me go to Mandir, have darshan and pray to Swami. And as he walked to the car park of the super speciality hospital, it was not at an official car park, an area where the cars were being parked, he saw another car go by which stopped. Looking up, it was Swami's car. Swami lowered down the window, raised his hand in blessing and gave 2 sweets and said, everything is fine, raised back the glass and left. Having had darshan, he thought, let me go back to the hospital. The moment he entered the hospital, there was a beaming Dr. Venugopal who said, the trucks have come, the trucks have come. Swami had given celebratory sweets in advance. Well, on the 23rd of November 1991, on the occasion of his 66th birthday, Swami declared that 4 operations had been successfully completed on the previous day after the Prime Minister of the nation, Shri P.V. Narasimha Rao, inaugurated the hospital. Once the avatar gives word, it can never fail. And dear brothers and sisters, we think that because it was Swami, it all happened. There is one story that I have left incomplete purposely because I like to have dessert in the end. And that is the story of Colonel Joga Rao, who was sitting up the whole night with his head buried in his palms. The next day morning, Swami was again in a jovial mood with all the students there. He looks at Colonel Joga Rao and says, Joga Rao, you didn't have a good sleep last night. Joga Rao folds his hand and he says, yes, Swami, and you know why. Swami then tells him, Joga Rao, it is I who promised the super speciality hospital to the world. Why are you so worried? Remember, this Bharat is a Tyaga Bhumi, a land of sacrifice, is a Yoga Bhumi, a land of yoga, a Punya Bhumi, a land of merit. if anyone takes up a pure and selfless resolution, it will come to fruition. It can never fail. All the resources, all the energy, all the time, everything that is needed for its fruition will come.
ఒక శుభవార్త అనౌన్స్ చేయవలసి వచ్చింది. మన భారతదేశ ప్రధానమంత్రి ప్రారంభించిన తర్వాత 15 నిమిషములకే డాక్టర్లు ఆపరేషన్ ప్రారంభించారు. 3 గంటల లోపల 4 పెద్ద ఆపరేషన్ అంతా జరిగాయి. ఒకటి చాలా కాంప్లికేటెడ్ ఆపరేషన్. ఆ హార్ట్ లోపల రంధ్రం ఉంటుండాలి. అలాంటి ఆపరేషన్ కూడాను సక్సెస్ అయిపోయింది. అందరూ క్షేమంగా ఉన్నారు.
What a tribute to the land of Bharat. What a tribute to the power of purity and selflessness. We say that it is divinity that made it happen. Swami didn't, as I said, do anything by waving his hand. He made it happen through the miracle of purity and selfless love. Yes, the miracle of purity and selfless love. Think about it. The eagles, the equipment arriving in one piece without insurance, the flight, the rain stopping, all of this. It is like the whole universe is conspiring because the universe loves purity and selflessness. The story of the super speciality hospital is the story of pure love and selflessness, just like the stories of everything else that Swami associated himself with. Dear brothers and sisters, we have to remember the importance of purity and selflessness. It might be a project that Swami himself started, but when we say Swami started it, it means purity and selflessness started it. The moment we lose that purity and selflessness, it will not sustain. In the same manner, when we initiate anything with purity and selflessness, let us remember that it is as good as Swami inaugurating it, because Swami is love, right? That is how he would address all of us. Prema Swarupulara, embodiments of love, because he is the greatest embodiment of love. And therefore, any project, any initiative, any action, any thought, any word that is suffused, that is filled with purity and selflessness, is Swami's word, is Swami's thought, is Swami's action, is Swami's project. Because as Swami said, when there is purity and selflessness, the entire universe will conspire, all the resources will come, all the energy will come, all the material will come, there will be no lack of anything, because the universe supports love and selflessness. The Lord supports love and selflessness. Dear Swami, may we be your true instruments. May we embody the love and selflessness that you are. May the love that we have for you in our heart keep growing stronger every passing moment. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.